So that's basically the roadmap for Q1. I mean, as you can see, we packed a lot into there, um, but we weren't content with stopping there, and we've actually done a whole lot more in Q1. Obviously, I think the key takeaway from Q1 is obviously token burns. So we first announced that we were burning 50 million tokens on the 8th of February. At the time, that was worth over $500,000 in VRA, and they were burned from the circulating supply. So for all those listening, maybe if you don't follow us too closely and you've been to our coin market cap page, and you've seen our total supply versus circulating supply, you'll see that our total supply is around 110 billion, and our circulating supply is around 10 billion. So 90 billion tokens in the Verasity ecosystem are used for proof of view marker tokens. They're basically used for data circulation purposes within VeraViews. They exist on the back end. They don't make their way into the circulating supply, and they're not tradable. So to all intents and purposes, our circulating supply now is 10 billion. We have 10 billion set aside as well for corporate acquisitions purposes. We call these war chest tokens. We haven't utilized them. Then they haven't made their way into the circulating supply. We had them in reserve if we wanted to buy a publisher. We have quite a lot of publishers on board with VeraViews now, so that's looking less likely, but there may be a situation where we want to acquire something that would be beneficial to the Veracity ecosystem. But for now, our circulating supply is 10 billion tokens. And when we do token burns, the tokens are burned from this circulating supply. They're burned using revenues. So essentially the revenue that we would make, that we make through the VeraViews ad stack and through other products that we're going to launch in the future, we can use a portion of these after we've paid for our operating expenses, so things like staff costs and expansion costs. We can use a portion of these to buy back tokens from the circulating supply and burn them from circulation. So that's why I said at the start of this AMA, at the start of this Twitter space, that VeraViews represents the largest opportunity for Veracity as a project, because it's the most obvious opportunity for revenue generation. And it's the biggest opportunity for commercial rollout. And as a result of that, the result will be that we can use revenue to buy back and burn VRA. So at the time, as I've said, that VRA was worth over $500,000. And then following this, on March the 17th, we burned a further 20 million tokens, which were worth some $150,000, I think, at the time. So this brings our total burn for the quarter to 70 million VRA, at a combined value of $650,000 at the time. We've said that we're going to give quarterly burn updates, and we are. Obviously, we did this mid-quarter in Q1. Probably we're going to move to an end of quarter burn schedule. It's not definite. We're going to burn as and when we need to, and as and when we can. But we'll probably roll in the burn updates with future quarterly updates. But we have committed to a quarterly burn schedule. So this will obviously scale as well with the amount of users using VeraViews and the amount of revenue that VeraViews generates. We can scale that up. So, I mean, we have the burn as an event, and obviously it was a great event for the Veracity community, but I think maybe we can look a little bit about what this actually means and the significance of this as a milestone for us as a project. So I've been in crypto for a long time, and I've worked for a lot of crypto projects, and also I've been involved and been interested in a community member in many different projects. And there's very few crypto projects, or there was. I think we're seeing this change. We're definitely seeing this change now that crypto's matured, or blockchain as a technology, should I say. But there has typically been a lot of projects that have an idea, and they have something that they want to achieve, but quite often that doesn't either make it to a revenue stage, or it's in development for a long, long time. With these burns and with the rollout of VRA and with the commercial adoption of VRA, we moved to a project that actually has utility. So we've got utility for the token, and we've actually got, like an actual product that is on the market in production that people can use. I think that the significance of this, I think many of you understand it. But we're going to now do a better job of communicating this to the market. This is why we're updating all of our web presence. So our website is going to look a lot more modern, so that we're up there with the shoulder to shoulder with projects that are hot right now, essentially. And we're going to do a better job of communicating to the wider crypto Twitter and the wider crypto space that, Veracity it was launched in 2017, but now we're at revenue stage. We have a product that is actually being utilized. And this is, I would say, further along the line than a vast majority of crypto projects. The other thing that I would say is our users, they're not just crypto native users. We have users in traditional industries. This is really important for what I would say is a decoupling of our reliance on like the success of the wider crypto market. So I've said this before, but Veracity's presence in the market and our commercial adoption doesn't rely on the crypto industry per se. It also has exposure to traditional companies through their advertising budgets. And that really gives us room to grow both with crypto offerings, so such as the Vera card and Vera wallet, but also we've now got this revenue generating product, which is Vera that is not directly exposed to the crypto markets. So that's a really good and strong position to be in. And I think that this is something that has become, I would like it to become more in the public consciousness through these burns, and we need to make a bigger deal about how we communicate this and where we are as a project to the wider ecosystem. So that's why the burns for me were really a defining moment in our project's history, I think. Obviously, we've committed to do them in the future, but they're just proof that we're at this stage. We're no longer a pie in the sky idea, or we're no longer just a roadmap. We actually have this product. It's actually being used. It's actually adopted, and that fundamentally changes VRA and Veracity, I believe, as how we appear in the market. So now we're going to look at some other milestones for Q1 2023, and then we'll move on